Welcome into the Michigan State Hockey Hub. As this week's episode, we have another member of the Michigan State coaching staff, new assistant coach Mike Towns. Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Clay.
So you, I so we had coached Michael on about 3 weeks ago or so, and that morning I heard rumors that you were joining the staff, and I was like, man, should I ask him about this or is it not official yet? And we jumped on at like 1 o'clock that day, and I said like, hey, I don't want to put you on the spot here. Can I ask you this? He's like, yeah, I think the Twitter account put it out like an hour before recording, so you are fresh, brand new. The last time that we spoke with one of the coaches, how has Michigan State been treating you so far?
Well, it's been great. I mean, I've only been up there a couple times, but I think it's pretty exciting time for us just with the new facility coming, new coaching staff. We're going to get to be around the players a little bit in July because they'll all come back for summer school and that. So yeah, it's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, and as we kind of walk through this episode, we're going to start with kind of your background and your career, and up to how you got to Michigan State. So, where have you coached? How did you get your coaching start? We will get into your playing career after we talk about your coaching.
Well, I started coaching at AIC, American International College. I actually started as a grad assistant coach. So I got my master's degree there. And before that, I did about 10 years of skill development stuff with all different ages. And then I got lucky. They changed the grad assistant position to a full-time position after I had finished my grad degree. So I ended up getting hired and kind of got my foot in the door that way. So I was there for 5 years at AIC, and then moved on to Clarkson University and had a great experience there. Was there for 3 years with a really good team and a real good experience. And now moving on to Michigan State.
Yeah, now when your playing career, so I asked you this before we started recording, but you were at Adrian College from 2007 2011. You were a captain. Correct me if I'm wrong, for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And you wore the A before that as a freshman. How does that work? I don't know if I've ever seen a freshman come in and have a letter on their sweater.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a unique circumstance. So the 2007 was the first year of the program there. So we had a few upperclassmen. I think we had a handful of seniors, 2 or 3 juniors, and then like 1 or 2 sophomores. But the majority of the team was freshmen. I think we had 20 plus freshmen that year because it was just getting off the ground. So I was lucky to be in that leadership group as a freshman, which is a little bit of a different experience, but we had a great, like an unreal group of guys. And that was a special class just because it was so big. So a lot of those guys are still my best friends, and
Yeah.
it was pretty fun.
So a lot of times when I speak to players or coaches, we talk about the transition from whatever program, high school, juniors, to college, and that freshman year being a difficult transition, speed, size, it's an obvious transition. You added leadership on top of that. I mean, you had a complete just whirlwind of a experience as a freshman, I'm sure. How was that transition for you?
Yeah, I guess, like I said, it was a little bit unique, but we had a younger team. It wasn't your typical team with, where it's typically your seniors and juniors are your captains. So um, it was good. It was fun, but it was like we had an unreal group of guys. So I was lucky to be in that leadership group with kind of my peers because they were all in my same class. But I played 4 years of junior hockey in Penticton, and I was a leader there as well. So it was something that I felt comfortable with. But I guess, yeah, it's definitely a little uncommon to be in that group as a freshman.
And where did your hockey career take you right after you graduated in 2011?
I played some minor professional in that. So I was in the Central Hockey League for a little bit. I played in the SPHL. I played in the East Coast Hockey League. So tried a few of those leagues, and actually it was fun. You get to travel the world and play in front of some great crowds in that. But when I had the opportunity to kind of get that get that master's degree and get my foot in the door in coaching, I definitely wanted to move on to kind of my career after playing.
Yeah. So transitioning to coaching, you were at Clarkson before coming to Michigan State. How did that transition work? Was that something that you had your eye on moving, or was it just the right opportunity at the right time?
Yeah, it's no, like it. I was really happy at Clarkson. It's a great place. We had a great team. Um, really liked where I was, and then I just thought this opportunity was too good to pass up. Like it's such a historic program, unbelievable tradition, history. Obviously, the conference is one of the best conferences, if not the best in the country. So that really excited me. And then Coach Nightingale's experience, obviously coaching in the NHL, coaching with the U.S. program, you know, coaching at the international level as well. Like the opportunity to learn from him and work with him, I thought was a really good one. And then Coach DeMichael, NCAA championship experience. I thought it was a good opportunity to work with him as well and learn from him. So I think it was a little bit of the right circumstance at the right time, and definitely got me real excited and thought it was too good to walk away from.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the stars kind of align there for you, which is always great. Now, as we talk about the recruiting process, we had talked about this with Coach DeMichael a little bit, but each university that you'll come from is different. Maybe how Michigan State's going to attack this could be different. Um, we know about kind of how the recruiting process works. I was just wondering if you could kind of walk us through what that's going to look like in Michigan State, and also give us an update on the new facilities.
Yeah, I think I think we're trying to be as active as possible right now. Like all the USHL camps, we covered most of them, and then actually Coach Nightingale and Coach DeMichael and myself were all just in Buffalo for the USA 17 camp, and then
Oh yeah,
we'll all head back for the 16 camp as well. So we're trying to get out, um, talk to a lot of people, watch a lot of different players, and get a feel for who might be able to help us short term, and then also down the road as well. So we're trying to be as active as possible on the recruiting trail and get to work. We want to get good players and elite players to Michigan State that want to play in the NHL. So we're trying to be as active as that as possible. And then on the facility side, I think we got pretty lucky with the timing. Just getting hired as that facility's coming in. It's unreal big time facility. I think it's as good as anyone in college hockey, arguably the best in college hockey. And what I really liked about it is a lot of it's built for the development of the athlete. It's just in terms of the sauna and steam room for recovery, hot tub, cold tub, underwater treadmill, all designed for recovery, shooting room, video room, like everything is built for the athlete. So I think that from a recruiting side, that'll be pretty exciting, and we're hoping to attract the right kid that wants to use the facility for development, and then also obviously for our current players, having access to that, trying to get better, use the facility to develop themselves. We're pretty excited about that.
yeah. No, that sounds awesome. I know that a lot of the fans have seen the pictures of it, and we're all pretty excited about that. Touching on recruiting, just before we move on here, quick question about COVID. During the COVID season, and you couldn't go to games, there weren't even as many games. A lot getting canceled and whatnot. You had to rely more on video, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, actually, there was a dead period during COVID, so there was really no travel allowed at all. So all the coaches were relying a little bit more on video, a little bit more on phone calls, phoning people out, asking questions and that. Um, so we got pretty good at that. Luckily, there's with the technology, you have access to a lot of different things, a lot of different video of the kids today.
It's funny, all this video stuff like we're doing right now was kind of all new to us 2 years ago. Now it's all so easy to us and second nature. I'm sure that the video that you get from recruiting is probably used more and more than before, even though it's not necessary. Then again, I understand traveling and seeing a player in person is so much different than seeing the video. But, when you're trying to scope it down some, you may have to just take video of a lot of players, and it seems like that's easier now. I guess my question is there more video available now after COVID because players have understood that that was kind of a larger part of getting recruited? Now there's more video access?
Yeah, I don't know if there's more access, but I think we're probably the coaches are probably using it more. Um, like there's a really good program called Instat that can cut pretty much everything you want. You can watch just a player's power play, just a player's penalty kill, all their shots on goal, their block shots. It's whatever you want, um, or just all their shifts from a certain game. So that's a real good tool for us. You can see a player that you like, and then you go back and you watch all his shifts from the previous 3 games, and it might confirm what you thought you saw, or maybe you say, maybe I caught him on a really good game. He's not typically that strong. So it's a real good resource, and I think there's definitely a balance there. You want to be in the rinks, you want to see kids with your own eye because there's a lot of stuff you can't catch on video as well.
Yeah.
Um, but using the video as a tool just to get more information on a kid is really valuable.
So the playing style at Michigan State has not been the most offensive play style in the past, and a lot of dump and chase. And I know that, each coaching staff has a little bit different identity or play style. What do you know so far? I mean, we may not be there yet. I know that you'll have a long way till the season starts and a lot of stuff to go over, and you're working with new players. So I understand if you don't have a too straight of an answer here, but what type of playing style and identity does Michigan State look to have over the next few years?
Yeah, I think what you said, like I think we'll once we get our hands on it a little bit, we'll probably have some just get more discussion about that. But um, like Coach Nightingale's track record is all about development. And you look at the team that he's coming from with the U.S. program. Um, the wins and the losses are important. We all want to win Friday, Saturday nights, but it can't be at the expense of getting better on a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. So I think he's really focused on the skill development, the player development, making sure our guys are developing in all areas. Um, and that hopefully will lead to more wins on Friday and Saturday nights. And then also just I know one of Coach Nightingale's big philosophies is just it's a game of mistakes. Like we want our players to make plays. We want them to be offensive, and you have to be responsible. There's puck management that goes into
Yeah.
it, but you can't be out there scared to make a mistake. Like I think our players are going to have some rope to make mistakes, and if they continue to make the same mistake, I think we'll have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
But we want our kids to be creative. You know, play fast, play hard, play smart is something we've talked about. But definitely, I think the development model, player development is going to be our number one focus.
Yeah, and that's what we like to hear because it's so important for players to kind of increase that production or take the leap forward year to year, and that's why you see teams that are so strong that have upperclassmen. It happens often in all college sports. The most talented team doesn't always win. A lot of times, it's the smarter team or the more experienced team, and the players that have gone through that development and learned, especially the mental side of the game, right? That's something that usually takes some time for people to grasp. But as we move on for the summer, so are you at Michigan State yet? Have you moved?
No, I probably won't be there till August at some point. Um, so we're pretty active on the road right now. So I'm kind of coming and going from Potsdam still, and then the players come back July 5th, and we're not allowed to do a ton with them per NCAA rule, but definitely want to be around and introduce myself to the guys. So
Yeah.
um, I'll kind of be coming and going a little bit through July.
So that takes you through July. I guess is August when it starts to kick into gear for the summer heading into the next, I guess, semester for the players after
Yeah,
after summer classes, that is?
yeah. I think end of August is when we kind of kick into the fall semester and get rolling.
Have you had, and I asked this same question to Coach DeMichael, have you had a chance to watch any of the, I know the roster's changed a lot from last year, but have you had a chance to watch any of the players from last year?
Yeah, I watched a few games just to kind of get familiar with the team, and um, you know, it's good to do that, but it's also I think good for our players to give them a fresh,
Yeah,
clean slate too. So
that's exactly it.
yeah, try to watch just to get a feel, but then also you don't want to make any judgments on guys because
Right.
some guys I think they're going to have some monster summers this year, come back better, and um, sometimes when you do have a new coaching staff, that for the players, it's a fresh set of eyes, and it might be a different opinion, or it could be the same opinion. But I think trying to
Yeah.
give the players a fresh slate is important.
Yeah, and I think everyone has been in a position in their life where sometimes a change in leadership is just, a mental reset for people. And yeah, I like what you said about giving them a fresh start and kind of just letting them prove who they are as a player and kind of earn their ice time that way as well. Um, so we touched on this briefly before we started recording, but I always ask everyone, like, do you know any of the current players? Because there's always funny, like, stories that date back to, if I have a player on there talk about they face somebody when they're, 13 years old or whatnot. But you do have a connection with one of the players on this team, correct?
Yeah. Well, Mike Underwood is transferring from Clarkson, so I coached him for 3 years. So I know Mike really well. So I'm excited to work with him again. And the rest of the players I don't know personally, but you kind of watch them in junior hockey, and a lot of times you might have some conversations about them or with them in the recruiting process. So you're definitely familiar with a lot of the guys, but you don't know them as well on a personal level.
So, everyone who will be listening to this is a Michigan State fan. We did not see a lot of Clarkson hockey likely over Mike's time as a player there. I don't want you to give him a big head or anything, but what can you kind of tell us about his game and what he brings to the blue line?
I think he's reliable, really good skating. He has good size. Can be one of the best. I think he was one of the best shutdown defensive defensemen in the ECAC the last couple of years, and has some offensive ability as well. But he's really mobile, can be a hard nosed, tough D. So he's a good player.
Yeah, and right after he transferred, I reached out to him and actually had him come on the show and talk to me. And he's also just seems like the nicest guy in the world. Like I felt like I was friends with him after 20 minutes of talking to him. Like I think the fans are really going to enjoy having him on the team.
Yeah, no question.
Okay, so now we're going to transition into a little bit more fun questions here. Just kind of get to know you and have a chance to talk about something besides hockey. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
Oh, got a young daughter at home, so we're watching a lot of cartoons these days. Haven't kept much, haven't kept up to much
What
show.
cartoon is it? Well, is she like really young? Like, are you watching the like?
Oh,
Uh,
she's a big Bluey fan,
oh
Mickey
yeah,
House fan. So that's what's on the TV these days. But my wife and I watched Friends. We watched How I
mhm,
Met Your Mother.
yeah.
Yeah, those comedies are pretty good.
I'll tell you what. I have a niece that's 2 years old, so I've seen a few episodes of Bluey, and that show's not too bad actually. I kind of like it. It's not bad.
Yeah, I think I've probably watched about 500 episodes. So,
Favorite food?
uh gosh, cheeseburger, steak and potatoes, chicken
Yeah,
parm. Those are probably
heavy meals. I
those are
like
the
that.
yeah.
A good heavy meal. How about your favorite hockey memory?
Uh, I at Adrian College as a player, we played in the national championship game. We actually lost to St. Norbert, but that was really fun, good experience. And then as a coach with AIC, we played the national tournament as a 16th seed and we beat St. Cloud, who was the number 1 seed at the time. So that was a really big upset, and it was awesome to be on that side of it.
What year was that? Do you remember off the top of your head?
It would have been 17, 18.
Okay, yeah. That sounded familiar. Yeah, because St. Cloud had made it a couple years and kind of got an early exit when they weren't expected to.
Yeah.
Um, okay, last question. Favorite sports teams? Do you watch professional sports outside of hockey, or who's your hockey team? And
Yeah, my hockey team, just growing up in Vancouver, I'm definitely a Canucks guy, so it's tough to watch the games just being on the East Coast now because
yeah,
I'm usually in bed by the time they start,
yeah.
but, like watching the Canucks. Um, Probably more of a golf fan than anything
Oh,
else.
okay.
Definitely, like, watch some football and that, but it's tough because 'cause we're usually doing video or recruiting on Sundays, so,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, hockey, golf, and football.
Awesome. Well, hey, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Especially on a Monday afternoon. I know that's tough to carve out time, and best of luck this season. And I know that we'll all be rooting for you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
All right. Go green.